who are going on strike and head to Petrograd near the Winter Palace, who join the protesters and are chanting, "Down with the Tsar! Down with the Tsar!" when you hear gunshots and the man in front of you collapses. Hello, this is the History Corps, and you're watching the Russian Revolution. The Russian Revolution paved the way for the political world of the 20th century. It is responsible for the Soviet Union, a nation that ruled with an iron fist, a nation that was America's enemy for quite some time. The Russian Revolution was one of the first that took a powerful empire and turned it to dust. It all began with Bloody Sunday. But let's go back further to get some context. All the way back in 1894, Nicholas II takes power. At the time, the working class are extremely poor and faced many hardships, while the powerful led lives of luxury. In 1905, Nicholas II refused to lead the Russo-Japanese War that they were losing. This angered the people of Russia, and there were many protests, and many marched on to the Winter Palace in Petrograd, St. Petersburg, on January 22nd, where the military forces fired on the protesters, killing hundreds, hence the name Bloody Sunday. This caused a national outrage and sparked many more protests. The Tsar was forced to create a committee called the Duma, and the compromise was disliked from both sides. The protesters didn't like it because the Duma didn't have much real authority, and the Tsar didn't like it because, well, he was giving up a bit of his own power. The Russians were suffering the most casualties during the First World War, facing defeat after defeat. Even back at home, there were massive food and fuel shortages, along with the rations. Russia was falling into chaos, and with the Tsar being in command of the military starting 5th of September 1916, he took the blame for it all. The shortages and military losses, he took all the blame. In fact, some people believe that the Tsar's wife, Alexandra Fyodorovna, who was born in Germany, was a German supporter during the war. The family fell under the influence of a man by the name of Rasputin, and he was killed on the 30th of December 1916 by aristocrats and possibly with the help of British secret agents. If you'd like to see a video about him, make sure to let us know. On the 23rd of February 1917, women protested in Petrograd because of the bread shortages and because it was International Women's Day. The following day, workers and students joined them with boards saying, "Down with the Tsar." Many of the troops sent to control the protest joined the protesters' side. Many Tsarist officials were arrested, with many police stations being attacked. The government lost control of the capital, and the Tsar was told the only way to save the government was to give up his power. Nicholas II abdicated on the 2nd of March 1917, putting an end to centuries of Romanov rule within 10 days. The Duma created a provisional government to hold power until an assembly could be elected that would write a new constitution. The Duma shared power with the Petrograd Soviets, which were a group of elected by the workers and soldiers. The Soviets controlled the capital's troops, transport, and communications. They were much more radical and were made up mainly of Marxist Mensheviks and the Socialist Revolutionary Party. They were in favor of the war continuing so they could honor their commitments to the Allies. That decision helped a smaller party by the name of the Bolsheviks get power. The party's leader was Vladimir Lenin, and he, who had recently returned from exile, was opposed to the imperialist war. He demanded that land be given to the peasants instead of the rich landowners. He also wanted the power to be taken from the Duma and given to the People's Soviet councils that were being formed everywhere. The main objective of the Bolsheviks could be summed up by their slogan, "Bread, Peace, Land." As the economy and military faced severe problems and the people became more supportive of the Bolsheviks, the June offensive that the Russians had failed miserably in and put troops' morale and discipline at an all-time low. In July, many of these troops protested in the streets, and they were joined by workers. These protests had the support of the Bolsheviks. The troops that were still loyal to the Duma opened fire on these crowds. The police cracked down on the Bolsheviks and arrested many of their leaders, including Leon Trotsky. On the 5th of July, with the help of Stalin, Lenin escaped to Finland. You see a photo of him in exile there. On the 8th of July, Alexander Kerensky is made prime minister, and he is thought to be the man that will save Russia from total anarchy. General Kornilov believes that the war effort was being undermined because of the problems at home. He decided to lead his men to Petrograd on the 25th of August to restore order. The Bolsheviks played a major part in defending the capital from the military coup. Leon Trotsky was released from prison, and because he was the best planner they had, he was sent to the capital with Bolshevik militias, aka the Red Guard, to defend key points of the city. Many railway workers who supported the Bolsheviks went on strike, which stopped Kornilov from moving his troops by rail into the city. Many of Kornilov's men simply just switched to the Bolshevik side or just deserted and went home. The coup was called the Kornilov Affair, and it made the Bolsheviks the saviors of the revolution. This helped the Bolsheviks gain control of the Petrograd's Soviets on the 25th of September 1917. Lenin returned to Russia and seized power on the 10th of October. On the 25th of October, the Bolsheviks' Red Guard and loyal troops seized key points around the city, and they took over the provisional government's headquarters at the Winter Palace. Alexander Kerensky fled the city at the last moment, barely evading capture. The next day, Lenin announced the overthrow of the provisional government. Months later, on the 7th of November, the Civil War begins against the anti-revolutionists, named the White Guard. Some of these anti-revolutionists hoped to put Nicholas back in power. Nicholas and his family were in Tsarskoye Selo, near Petrograd, under guard when he took the throne. Yeah, this is good. Some of my Russian pronunciation may not be the best. In the summer of 1917, they were moved to Tobolsk in Syria. They were housed in the governor's mansion with house arrest. In the spring of 1918, they were moved by the Bolsheviks to Yekaterinburg. On July 17th, with the anti-revolutionists closing in on the city, the family was gathered in a cellar and were executed by their guards. The Civil War took an estimated 2 million soldiers' lives on top of an epidemic and a famine killing millions of people. By the end of 1921, the Bolsheviks had won. Lenin would set about to build up the new nation, and on the 30th of December, 1922, the Soviet Union was founded, making it a major superpower, with Germany in an economic mess following the end of the First World War. The nation had a one-party system, where all who disagreed would be ruthlessly suppressed, as you see here in a gulag. All the hope the people had was gone, and it would be decades till a new government was put in place. The Russian Revolution changed the world and had everlasting effects on it. Before I wrap up this video, I'd like to wish you all a happy new year and take a moment to talk about our channel goals. I like to upload once every 2 to 3 weeks, since each video takes hours to make. I like to get at least 75 views per video, and I like to end the year with 150 subscribers. These goals wouldn't be possible without you, so please consider liking it if you like it, subscribing if you want to see more, and commenting what you thought about the Russian Revolution. My next video will be out around January 24th. I had help from Math IRL with the research, so make sure to check him out. Hope you enjoyed this video and learned something. Recruits dismissed.